welcome to your Discourse Syndicates FN Hangout. I'm the captain, your Captain RG3, bringing it to you. The first community stream, the longest running community stream, the only community stream that belongs to you because you get to come in here whenever you want. The FN Hangout. Hey, Hexicans, welcome. Welcome. What an exciting week all over the world. We're going to make it short and sweet today because my daughter's home from college and I'm going to go hang out with her. And I'm going to have me a cigar and probably another espresso. And I got some guns to clean because we might be going to war with Canada. Who knows? I just got to make sure that I'm ready and prepared in case those dirty Canadians come over that border and start messing with us. So I will be prepared. Let me see. Let me check. I think I got some. Yeah, I know. I was the first is all I said. I was the first. Anyway. Hey, how's everybody doing? Let's say hello to everybody in the chat room, even the fucking dummies that are in there. Torin, what's happening? How you doing? Now is the time to shine. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. What else? Pleasure. 404 is in here, and he is in the green room waiting to come and hang out and talk. Body Mechanic, what's happening? Tinfoil Society, welcome to you. Sandy Beach, my lady, welcome, welcome. All right, everybody. Let's see, who else? M. Rocky. Oh, yeah, fucking dummy. How you doing, M. Rocky? Why don't you come on in here and have a chat with us? We'd love to hear from you. IVO Williamson from Amsterdam, right on. Have one for us. Let's see, what else? What else? That's it. All right, everybody. Welcome. Good to have you. We've had an exciting week. Last couple of days, it's been P-die. I got nothing to say about it, to be completely honest, because still don't know. I've loved the experiment. I always thought it was a great experiment, but it was just that, an experiment, and it's still going on. So we still have to see where this whole thing ends up and where it goes. We will check the news and see how it's going. But for now, anybody who has done any suffering in there, I feel for you. And I hope that it changes because I like all of these things that are being built on PulseChain, all the experiments, all the things people are trying to do. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Bridging, oracles, all of this stuff is tricky, buggy, new, a lot of unknowns. When it came to programming, a little bit of it that I've got to witness, not be part of, but witness, that's where all their problems were in those areas. And that's where centralization comes in. That's where you get your issues. That's where people are seeing new stuff that they hadn't seen before. And, that's it. That's my take is that if you're going to get involved in things like that, just realize that those things are buggy. Those things are dangerous. Those things are new. Those things have not, even the best of the best haven't been able to program them all properly yet. So when you hear people talking about, bridging and the troubles that they have and oracles and the troubles that they have, believe them. I mean, look at all the projects that have had issues with oracles. And the reason I think one of the big reasons why Nomics left the scene was because they just couldn't deal with the oracles and how things were being presented to them and how they were pulling information. It was really, really tricky. And I think that's why they finally said, no, we can't do this anymore. We're out of here. But anyway, buyer beware always, of course. And if you're going to play with those things, it's on you. It's on you. But best of luck to the P-die project. And I hope that it does well and proves itself and does what it says it was going to do. All right. So. Let me see here. We've got a gentleman that was actually at the PulseChain tour at the Vegas 369 event. And he's going to come in. We're going to talk about NFTs, 404s, what he's got going on, and maybe we'll learn something. We can ask some questions. Anybody wants to come in a little bit later, we will we'll roll it. So everybody, my friend and PulseChain tour supporter, Pulse 369 supporter, Alex from the 404 Mom. What's up, dude? How you doing?
Cat, what's going on? How's everything?
Not much.
Us.
Thanks for coming on. Let me see if I can get your volume up a little bit. There we go. So what is happening? How are you faring this week?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. Trying not to pay attention to all this P-die stuff. Even though it's bringing the sentiment down, it's bringing the ecosystem a little down, but it's all right. We'll move forward on that, Just things kind of like rebalancing itself.
Yeah, I mean, when you're down and out, though, getting kicked in the teeth a few more times than you've already been kicked in the teeth is really not too bad, right? I mean, it's like you're already laying there beat the hell up. So what's a couple extra boots in your face? So anyway, yeah, I couldn't imagine any more fight, but I'm sure I shouldn't say that because we could have anything happen. But let's get into some positive stuff. Let's talk about some things that are actually going on that you're observing. I think that there is a ton of good products that are already built on PulseChain that are here for DeFi. I mean, we got everything we need, and there's a couple little privacy things that we need. Probably that's about it. Other than that, it's all here. What's your sentiment about what's going on in the NFT space?
I mean, I feel like NFTs for us and PulseChain is just. I feel like we came out on the wrong foot, maybe, right? I mean, when the founder calls them stupid JPEGs, it's kind of hard to maybe get that traction, right?
Yeah.
But, I mean, the fact that people still build, and then some of the products that are on PulseChain are actually pretty nice. Hopefully that will change the mind of Richard and other investors that are kind of more old school, right? Like art has always been more physical, and even before NFTs, the digital art has kind of been not overlooked, but kind of looked at in a different way. So I give respect to all the NFT builders on PulseChain for sure, and I think it could only get better from here.
Yeah, I mean, the problem I think that anybody building in the crypto space is that, first of all, like I said, there are things that are unknowns, new frontiers that people are crossing right now. Literally the bridge, crossing the Rubicon, is tricky. It's difficult. And a lot of these things don't work properly when you add a new wrench into the system. You know what I mean? It's, I've seen it a couple of times where the bridging or the oracles or those kinds of things have made difficulties for projects. But what happens is you get people that ape into these things early thinking that they're going to, pull a get rich quick or get in early on something and make a fortune. And then when they don't, they get pissed off and they blame the developers or the community for not throwing their liquidity out there for them to go ahead and dump on their heads and stuff like that. I mean, it's like, hey, somebody builds a project, they have people sacrifice or they have people, buy in or whatever. Guys, it's decentralized. It's a DEX, meaning that the community provides the liquidity. It has nothing to do with a founder or something. It's you and the code and the exchange and the people that want to be involved with it. And if they want to pull their liquidity, they pull their liquidity. And there ain't a damn thing you can say or do about it.
Free
and
market,
if you're stuck in it, it's your own damn fault. So you got to be aware of all that stuff. So going out there and crying and screaming and yelling at people because you're down, because you over leveraged yourself in something that was a cutting edge product of a cutting edge system that is on crypto, that's the 2% of the world even know about it, then you're crazy thinking that you deserve anything. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, man. I mean, it's free market, you know, for the fact that people want to have their choice when they could sell or keep, right? But then everybody else is supposed to just hold everything you have, you know, until I'm ready. You know, that's kind of a crazy mentality, right? Like fair market means exactly that. You know, people are free to come and go as they please, you know, and you don't even need the announcement, but it's all on the blockchain for us to see. So at least that's a good thing, right?
Yeah, no, it's it's funny, you know. You see the narrative from the big bag holders and everything is hodl, hold, hodl. You know, don't sell. You got to wait until I do, till the price goes up high enough, till there's enough people in here so that I can get mine. You know, and again, another big problem. But I think, you know, that there's going to be a time when all this starts to you know, level out, like any market, any new market, any young market, any market that has innovative products, any market that has you know, we saw it. I saw it. Most of you didn't, because you were all still pissing your pants in your fucking rooms and shit. But there was a thing called the dot coms, and the dot coms were like, everybody was all excited about a fucking landing page, right? There was a landing page that said pets.com. There was a landing page that said cigars.com. There was a landing page that said shoes.com. And everybody went nuts and aped all their money into these landing pages, right? Literally, like, nobody knew what a website was. Nobody knew what a .com was, but people were just throwing money at these things, and the valuation of them went through the roof. They were really worthless. They were nothing. They were literally a web page that you can put together right now with, like, you can go to AI and build a web page better than the first, you know, web pages that were put out in like 5 minutes, not knowing jack shit about putting up a web page. And so this is what we have today. This is what we have here in crypto today, is that everybody's aping their money into these things that have not proven themselves yet, that have not become utilitarian for society. That's why nobody's in here. We're the only stupid motherfuckers in crypto. We are the stupid motherfuckers that are in here pioneering this shit. The rest of the world, remember, there's only 2-3% of the world in here. Everybody else is like, no, fuck that bullshit, man. Look at those guys. We're all fighting with each other. They look like a bunch of freaking monkeys, you know, trying to fuck a football. And they're just like, no, I ain't going to put my money in that shit. So until we can get our heads out of our ass, until we can start showing everybody, you know, that this space is safe and stable, and, you know, we're not trying to make, you know, crazy, weird narratives out of stuff that don't matter. You know, nobody wants to come here and invest their money. I think that BlackRock and all of them are just in because it's a can't beat them, join them kind of situation. They know that crypto is going to move. They know that they're going to take over. So they bought all the Bitcoin up. Now what they're going to do with it, I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do with it. We have to still sit back and watch. But let's talk about utility. Let's talk about, you know, the dream of crypto was always, oh, it can do this, it can do that, it can do this. Well, now it can. And guys like you are making that kind of shit. So let's talk a little bit about the utility and what you know, you're obviously an NFT guy. So let's talk a little bit about that, because like you said before, you know, when NFTs first came on the scene here, you know, for those of us who are here back in the ETH days with crypto kitties, we remember what all that kind of stuff looked like, what it did and how it screwed up the chain at the time and whatnot. And then, so when NFTs started to hit the scene again and go ape shit nuts, like, you know, meme coins today, the founder of PulseChain flooded them and said, this JPEG might be or may not be hosted on the internet in some time, blah, blah, blah. So let's talk about where they've gone. Obviously, you know, with HSI stakes, we have utility now with NFTs, but let's talk about what you got going on in your opinion about all that.
Sure. So what we have is a bit different than your average NFT, even from the beginning of just like minting it, right? Usually you would need your minting page and your launch pad, right? But with this, you could kind of just mint it directly from an exchange. So it's a ERC20 and a 721 combined. So you no longer need any middleman to build you a launch pad or a minting app, none of that. So that's a cool thing about it. Besides that, you also have the cool gamification within the contract. So when you're minting from the exchange, it gives you a random NFT directly into your wallet. So I think that's pretty cool, you know, just being able to kind of skip the middleman and get exactly what you need is pretty cool. That's a different utility already, you know, just within the contract.
Nice. So when I was before PulseChain came out, I was out in Europe, and I was being introduced to some car companies, Ferrari, some other folks, and I was running into a lot of people that were in the NFT space, and they were very into the art and the music and what it can do and the utility of it. I remember hearing that narrative early on in Bitcoin, banking the unbanked and and all this stuff and what could come to the come to the space. And then it was right during the bull run when the NFTs kind of took off, and I don't know. I guess there's a match for it in the real world, which is I don't know if you know this, but fine art is used to launder money. Fine art is used to move money back and forth between people and whatnot, and so it goes, and they've got tax ramifications for owning fine art and whatnot. I can't say definitely that happened, but we've seen NFTs selling for $9 million, $14 million, all kinds of crazy shit, right? So I was wondering if maybe that kind of stuff was going on at that time. But I remember the NFT space that and some of the events I went to. I went to a couple in particular in London where everybody was really fired up about Web3, NFTs, and the virtual reality worlds that everybody was starting to create. And then the bear market came and it just flatlined. Like all the projects went away, all the companies that were working on these things went away. What do you say to that? Do you think a reemergence coming? Do you think things have changed since then? What's your opinion on that?
I think it's a different market altogether. I think people are kind of looking for something more than just, let's say, your typical art. And even then, that doesn't necessarily mean that you'll be successful. I mean, if we take example from Valeria Studios, right? I mean, they provided lots of utility as an NFT brand, from video games to physical trading cards that actually link to the digital world where you could redeem them in your wallet, right? So that's so much utility there, and they couldn't even survive this weird market we're in. Do I think it's going to overturn and evolve? For sure, but where we'll end up, I'm not really too sure, to be honest. I mean, when we say utility, we expect people to kind of bum rush the doors, right? But when it comes to NFTs, there's something there besides just the utility. I think you need to find that like core degen community, right? You need to kind of have a cult type of community to keep it pushing, and it needs to be really community driven. If not, it won't really work. You need to entice outside people to want to come in just based off that community aspect, and then that kind of like vibe thing, right? Like people FOMO. You need to make people FOMO. The utility, unfortunately, right now is not enough.
So let me clap on that. And here's how I understand and explain that. So everything in the world is a Ponzi. Everything. You name it, it's a Ponzi. It's about somebody creating something of value with either sweat equity or their own value and trying to sell it for more, trying to get other people to buy it for more. That's what you do. That's how people sell homes. That's how people sell cars. That's how people sell, honey, bananas on the corner, oranges, you name it. Anything that anybody has sold, they've made it for a cheaper price or some sweat equity, and they've sold it for more value, and they've got that value in their pocket now. And that's the same with investing. Everybody invests in the stock market, their 401ks and everything, buying in early, hoping that these products do well and these stocks do well, and they go up, and it's time for them to cash it out and utilize that capital. Hopefully it's up. Now, in the crypto space, we tend to want to hyperinflate that. See, the difference between a Ponzi and a good asset is time. That's it. That's it. More time in between the buying and selling of that asset, the more the value is. All charts go up and to the right. If you look at the stock market, it started way the hell down here and it ended up way the hell up here. And it's a very simple, thing to say, hey, it starts here and it goes up to here. But all that's in between there is time. And in between, there are emotional wiggles in the middle of human beings buying and selling and FOMOing in and out. Now, this space has a lot more of that than any other space because people haven't understood that it's really about the time that this market is requiring itself to develop, to become better. I mean, look, it's what, 12, 13 years later, and they're still saying Bitcoin is the crypto. And that's the most ridiculous thing that anybody could ever say in the tech world. For a tech person to claim that Bitcoin is the greatest asset in the crypto space is asinine. It's true that it is the most productive. It has the most liquidity. It is the first, but it is not the best crypto. It's not. It's had 3 bugs. You can't build on it. Nobody's there to really, other than people that own it, nobody's there to support it. It's really garbage when it comes down to it. Hex is way better than Bitcoin, but this space doesn't see it that way. This space sees it another way, that, hey, I've got all my value in this thing. I want it out now or soon. So all you guys hold and keep buying it, number go up so I can sell. And I think that's the problem because the space hasn't matured yet. Like, you're going to sit here and talk about 404s here in a minute. And that's a whole nother aspect to this thing that is being programmed into money that is going to take us to a whole nother level. Because basically what these, I mean, and I'm definitely not no 404 expert, but these things are kind of, they kind of can act like trusts. Trusts allow you to do certain things with certain accounts, with certain valuations of fiat currency or fiat assets, and control them in a way that, the trust has to do certain things legally with that account, with that asset, whatever. A 404 makes it to where it's programmed into the assets themselves. Like, it can be split up between your children. 3 children can have something split up 3 different ways. One NFT that owns whatever or has the value of whatever can be split up between 3 kids. And it can be time locked, or there's all kinds of things that can be done with these 404s that kind of act like a trust. And I keep telling people that there's nothing new under the sun, that, all of these positive externalities that are programmed into these cryptos are just things that we've taken from the market, the good positive externalities, and programmed them in. And, Richard did a great job with Hex. So now with 404s, there's a lot of different things. And maybe you can clap back on that and tell me, some of the use cases that you see for it. Because if we're going to advance, it's going to have to be utility. People are going to need to see utility, see the value in it before we start getting the masses in. Because FOMOing money back and forth between all of us isn't working.
No, I mean, that's the Ponzi scheme is dead right there, right? If we're going to call it a Ponzi, if there's no new money coming in, we're pretty much like stuck in the mud, right? Just selling each other the same things over and over and over and over and over. And eventually somebody's going to want to take their ball and go home, right? And when that happens, we're all going to cry. But as far as 404s and the different kind of utilities caked in, I mean, you hit it on the head, right? Like a trust. Then you could also look at it as a layaway, right? Like, let's say you want a certain NFT before it was non-fungible, right? You had to have, let's say, $10,000 up front. You don't have 10,000, you can't play, right? Now you could kind of do a layaway program. You do 2,500, 2,500. Eventually you could work your way up to that, whatever high value NFT item that you like. And that in itself is already pretty cool, right? It gives people the opportunity to play within the same pond as everybody else. Now you could be cool and have the Bored Ape or have the whatever, right? I mean, we don't have those yet on PulseChain, but I'm sure we will. and it will eventually get there. We'll have our own core NFTs, so to speak. If that's not cool enough, I mean, just the ability to kind of back your NFTs by a liquidity pool, or to create a numerous amount of liquidity pools, which now create you a liquidity web where you're protected from dumping, right? So now, like, people say they don't like dumping and they don't like seeing things sold and brought down. Well, if you have a web, a liquidity web tied to many different tokens, now you could actually stay stable, right? So I think that that's cool enough. But if there wasn't, you could actually look at the other side of it, right? Now you could treat it as a regular NFT, and it could eventually develop a market where the price for the NFT side will be way higher than the token side. So now you could buy for cheap as a token through the exchange, and then what kind of arbitrage where you could sell for 10, 100x on the NFT side based off the rarity of the token, or just, you know, how people like the NFT. We all know sometimes rarity will make it something expensive, but with art, somebody will just like something for whatever reason, and he's willing to pay that price. So just that in itself, I mean, there's so much going on there, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I think that the 404 protocol, you know, makes the NFT extremely utilitarian. And, you know, I mean, we've seen it already. As soon as HSIs came out, that changed, you know, when I mean, I've been in crypto since 2014. I've seen, mostly I've just played in ICOs and scams and all that crap in the beginning, you know, and then we moved into real DeFi coming out, you know, and a lot of us were waiting for real DeFi to finally come out. And Richard, you know, launched Hex. It was like, okay, we got a real DeFi crypto here, you know, and you know, and then of course we learned a lot about liquidity and providing liquidity, which, you know, those things we weren't taught that stuff until just recently because of DEXs. You know, the DEX came out when the adoption amplifier came out with Hex, and we started learning about liquidity and understanding how everything moved. And then as soon as, you know, PulseChain came out and Hex kept doing what it was doing. And, you know, now we understood that, hey, we could program these things. We can provide liquidity and do things that are going to make this space even better. And then boom, we had all these people like yourself and everybody, you know, coming out with these new protocols that were going to, you know, make this chain a better place. So I forget where I was going with that, but it was, you know, we've seen things change and morph. And of course, like I said, Richard's first response to NFTs was a negative one. But then when the HSI came out, it was like, hey, now we see utility. We see the value in the NFT, because one of the things that was, you know, kind of a stumbling point for Hex was that you couldn't really sell your stake, right? You couldn't get rid of your stake. You couldn't get out of it early if you had to or whatever. So the HSI made that possible, made it transferable, made it, you know, the stakes transferable, made a value or a bargain. What would you call it? More of an auction house for stakes, where you can pick them up for cheaper than we would for, you know, if you were just out there making your own stake. If you got lucky and went in the auction, bought some HSI stakes. So I saw the utility right away, and that's when I started leaning in and going, okay, these things are going to be, you know, something special as things go. And then I saw the 404s, and okay, now we've got utility. This might be the thing that, you know, I know liquidity and all those other things are exciting for a lot of people. But I don't think that the general public is going to be like, I don't think that's going to be the thing to bring people to the chain. I think things like 404s, NFTs that have utility, that bring positive externalities from the fiat world into the crypto space, are going to be what people flock to, you know, and I don't think it's the other stuff that people are out there giga-braining on, you know.
I think it's a mixture, right? It could be both, but I think the, you know, the utility is cool, but you need to create something that's unique to the ecosystem. And I believe with us, with the 404s in specific, I think we came up with something that it was almost like, I felt when Richard said NFTs are stupid JPEGs, I didn't kind of let that defeat me. I created something that paid homage to his network, to his tokens, and that's where our monsters kind of played a difference, right? A lot of these NFTs that come from different networks, there's nothing really specific tied in about that network, right? So you have Bored Ape Yacht Clubs. There's nothing really that screams Ethereum about it, right? But now when you look at 404 monsters, it screams Richard Hart, right? So by that I mean each monster, it has a family type that represents one of the tokens, right? So let's say incentive monsters, they're all green. They have that green color palette. And we designed something that's truly for PulseChain, for the PulseCans, for the Hexicans, for everybody. And I think we're so early that people don't even realize what we really did, right? So if it wasn't cool enough that we made all of the tokens family types of the monsters, we made those monsters evolve. So now you could go and pick which monster do you want. Do you want a cute one or a fierce one? And I think that part of NFTs is what's going to drive adoption for certain ecosystems. Now, when you build them for the network, you're going to see how people come just to pick their specific ones. They're going to start forming groups, right? So all the incentive degens, you could have your monsters. All the Hexicans, they could have their monsters. And eventually, right, the concept of this is so well built from the art and the whole just like blueprint that eventually we could turn this into a trading card game, to an actual battling game, and it could go really far as utility goes with the right push and with the right money. So we're at the base level and super early.
All right. Well, hey, we got somebody in the green room wants to come up and chat with us, so I'll pull them up. But real quick, I just want to address the chat room. Look, Rocky, check this out, bro. You can say whatever you'd like. Come in here, have a conversation with us. I'm cool with that. But if you're just going to troll, you're just going to talk shit, you're just going to say stupid stuff and gum up the chat room, then I'm going to throw you out. And we'll just keep throwing you out. And that's fine. You're just spewing shit out the side of your neck versus coming in here, showing your face and being a man and talking to us. You want to talk to us, you want to ask questions, that's cool. But if you just want to sit there and spam the chat, then we're going to send you out. So that's that. You're not being gate kept or blocked. We just don't need your dumb ass in here spouting out stupid shit. All right then, because you sound like a little bitch. You really do. All right, hey everybody, we got our buddy Torrens coming up. Let's see if we you're gonna pull up your oh shit, and everybody's mic's having trouble today. There, Torrens.
Yeah, I'm hoping my mic is okay. I was just trying to connect my buds. Is my audio trash?
It's squeaking. It sounds like you got a mouse or something in there.
Okay. Yeah. Let me work on my audio, and I'll be right back.
All right. We got somebody else here. Street Guru's in. You ready there, Street Guru?
You know it. Hey, Captain.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Hey, you did a fantastic job on the highest of stakes. I got to say, I think you were the best character.
All right, thanks. It's cringe watching yourself on film. That's for damn sure. I don't watch any of these videos, and definitely hated watching the movie. But yeah, thanks.
So that's a part of show business, I guess. But
yeah,
I'm watching a lot of the news, and I've been with PulseChain a long time, and I'm seeing a trend here. Tell me what you think. There's like a slow burn of anger and vitriol against the oligarchs. And I've been watching this for a while now with Occupy Wall Street and so on and so forth. But do you think PulseChain and our ecosystem can take advantage of that messaging? And what would it take for us to go ahead?
What side of that messaging are you talking about? Because you say oligarch. That's kind of a broad term at this point in the game in the world, because oligarchs used to be regarded as a dictator in a country. Now oligarchs are billionaires and of course they were billionaires too, but now we've got so many billionaires in the world because of the way money has moved and how much money has been printed and how much has been exchanged to them, that we've got more billionaires in the world than ever that are taking control of whole countries now. And so I guess my question is what side of the messaging are you talking about?
So what I'm finding out is that when a billionaire makes money, off the middle class, let's say it's the iPhone, let's say it's computers, AI, whatever. Once taxation gets too high in their native land, they go to the next country to get a better deal. And they take those resources from the consumer, and that money doesn't get poured back into their pocket. But these families, they become rich, and through trust, they can pass their money down to their kids.
Mhm.
So blockchain technology is going to be able to track where, let's say, the billionaires might go, just like how they were tracking, billionaires on their private jets. So how can PulseChain, how can our ecosystem, get ahead of this? Because I think we were doing the negative marketing, which was fantastic, but I think it's a little distasteful now to flaunt green candles or wealth, because it's not appealing to the average guy. So how do we become ahead of the game? Because that's Street Guru. That's what I like to do. I'm a thinker in the dark.
Yeah.
How do we get ahead of this and change our marketing to helping the little guy? How do we do that? What do you think about that? Because we really got to put our heads together and get ahead of that.
So this isn't just a problem in PulseChain. This is a problem. This is a global problem. Over the last, I'd say decade, maybe last 20 years, the last couple decades, flaunting wealth was very popular, very admired, revered. And because there were popular people that were becoming wealthy, and those popular people, some of them came from the streets and from rags and mostly entertainers and whatnot, and made it feel like anybody can achieve that. And I think that's been the biggest lie told to society, is that you too can be a billionaire. You
Right.
too can get ahead of the game. And although that's not true, although that is true, it takes a certain amount of luck too, on top of hard ass work.
Right.
There's of a million people that go out there and work real hard to become a billionaire, very few do. And along the way, there was either usually a crime or some luck
Right.
to create that billionaire,
Or both.
or both. And usually it's both. And we've seen that lately, as some of these billionaires have been getting caught for a lot of their crimes and whatnot. So here we are today in this conundrum. Now, remember, history repeats itself. There's nothing new under the sun. And yes, we have this cool space where fairness and truth can be programmed into our monetary systems now. But the world's not there yet. The world is at a point now, and if we look back in history, where the robber barons owned everything. The robber barons, forced you into these labor camps basically in order to survive. And that's one of the things that brought on the Great Depression, was the mass ownership of most of the wealth and most of the big businesses, and the people be damned. And so to counter all that, we started building systems and things to kind of even things out and fair things out. If you look back at the taxation rate for those people back then that were making a lot of money, it was extremely high, like through the roof high, the taxation. And now you say anything about taxation and you're like, oh fuck, you're a communist, right? Like,
Right.
tax rate has never been lower on billionaires than ever. I mean, we've got oil companies that pay zero. We've got monster box companies that pay zero in taxes, where you and I don't get to do that. Even if you're wealthy, you don't get to do that. And the poorest of us pay the biggest amount of taxes. So it's flopped on its head. History has repeated itself, and now here we are once again in history, where a lot of people are angry at a very few people. A lot of people that have nothing are angry at the people that have most of everything. And and that's where we're at. So how does that change? Again, it's going to take time. It's not something that's going to happen overnight.
So how do we start a movement, Captain? So this takes time, right?
Yeah.
How do we get ahead of the messaging so that way we are the ones getting, on the talk shows? We're the ones, we are the ecosystem that champions distressed nations, distressed peoples. And what would it take for us to get that messaging out there? Because now is the time to create a system before it's parroted by the wrong people. So I think there's a window of opportunity that only I can see right now, because I've been watching PBD podcasts. I'm watching people like Bill Burr. I don't know if you know that guy who's talking about billionaires. You heard about the Mangione guy.
Yeah.
And what I'm seeing is a slow flame that's picking up momentum. And with uncertainty in the markets, you got all this fraud on Wall Street. How does PulseChain, how do we get it to become more accessible with our messaging now? And how do we work together on that? Or even if not, what tools can we create to become that little guy, average man, instead of like green candles and I-10X? How do we just throw that all out the window and create
we
a
could
system
use
of
that.
fairness?
So flaunting is only bad when you show what you have, right? So most people want to flaunt wealth to show what they have. They're not trying to celebrate the tough times, right? And share that behind the scenes stories. So for everybody who's kind of flaunting, they all have a story. So why don't we focus more on that individual story for people, and you could actually share that, right? So nobody really knows. When you hit, you want to just, scream about it, and you kind of forget about the tough times. But I think we could use that, right? Like people could share like a testimony video, and you could see how Hex has helped people go from the bottom to the top. And it's careful how you spread that messaging, right? Because when we're sharing things, sometimes they come across as bragging. So it's nothing wrong with sharing your success. It's just you don't want to come across as you said, flaunting your wealth. But testimonial videos showing the true behind the scenes of people's lives, and that could build a different sentiment around these people, where you maybe once thought this guy's an asshole because he's showing you his cars or his new life or whatever. Maybe he's just really excited about how his new life went, and if you actually followed him around a bit, that might change. So that's
Right.
maybe an idea.
So
And I appreciate your time, Captain. If I could quickly say one more thing.
Yeah.
It seems to me that if we get ahead of this messaging, but also visualize the future. I like to stay in the dark, and I try to visualize the future. In the next couple of years, this is what I'm seeing, and you can tell me if I'm wrong. The whole global network of payment systems like SWIFT and the whole BRICS and all these internet based transfers like MoneyGram and so on. I think that's going to start to rise, and Ethereum and modules like that are going to break down everything. And I don't know how long that's going to take, but how do we jump ahead of that and become this low tier general transaction where people in Africa, Australia can just transfer, barter, exchange, and have a store of value without necessarily the success story, but just we have a new way to do life. Well, that's just my thought. How do we visualize the future now that we see countries are becoming more reclusive, and the internet is going to be the new mode of communicating and transferring money?
Yeah. So let me go back and answer the first question, go all the way into this, because I do have an answer for it, and I do have my thoughts on it anyway. And my answer may or may not be right or wrong, or you might not like it or not. But being a man of the world and have raised kids, bought houses, been through careers, been fired, almost losing houses, been through the 2007 crash, all that kind of stuff, lost businesses. I've done all of these things, and I've watched market sentiment come and go and change. I was raised by the greatest generation and the boomers, who both had a different look on things. My grandfather was a World War II veteran who was in the Great Depression. I know the stories about what happened back then and how things went. I looked at history and I've watched it. And a lot of the younger people today don't know that history like I do. And they don't listen to me because for some reason they think that they understand things better than people who have actually experienced it do. And I think that we need more leadership in this space, first of all. But here's the thing. Like I said, there's something coming to a head right now. The billionaires and the loud people, the angry people, the disenfranchised people are getting ready to butt heads. It's happening. And that's when it all starts. The revolution is about to start. Now, who comes out on top in this thing? I'm almost sure I know it's going to end up being the people, but not before a long battle, not before a lot of things have to be sorted out. Let's face it, payment systems out there are better than crypto. Sorry, Zelle is better than crypto. I can send somebody money anywhere I want through my Zelle account, through my, Venmo account, whatever. Works better than crypto. Sorry. So, but my assets, the value statement, the positive externalities of the markets, I know is built into crypto. So somehow, some way, these two systems need to marry in order to fix the financial system, fix the money, in my opinion. But first, a war has to be fought of some type. Some type of revolution has to happen that changes the game, that makes way for decentralization of everything to be palatable to the world. Because let's face it, the real money out there that belongs to the Gen Xers and the boomers, sorry guys, you don't own the wealth out there, you youngsters. The boomers and the Xers that are about to get all the boomers money, they're the ones with the wealth in the world, them and the billionaires. Now, how do we start this revolution? How do we start bringing attention to this stuff? How do people start leaning into, this space? Well, first of all, being a Marine, I know what happens to the first person in a revolution that sticks his head out the foxhole. He gets his head fucking blown off. That's what happens. So that's where we're at, guys. This crypto space, you're the first motherfucker's going to put your head out the foxhole. That's what's happening right now. So don't think that there is not opposition out there that isn't extremely powerful. It is. We're going up against the biggest institutions in the world, guys. The banks, the oligarchs, the countries that want to run crypto, that want to use it to grift. I don't know why we think that it's cool that BlackRock has all the Bitcoin. I have seen, all the maxis out there clapping and cheering it on that BlackRock owns their Bitcoin now. I don't understand that, but here we are. So revolution starts here. They're going to start coming after us. They're going to start, attacking DeFi and attacking. Hold on, let me bring Guru back up. They're going to start attacking the things that matter to the people, because they're not going to want the people to have that kind of control. We have a lot of control in our hands with DeFi. Do you realize what has been done? Exchanges, the whole crypto space is turned on its head because of DeFi. The exchanges are no longer needed. We don't need Binance and Coinbase and all. As soon as we can do some onboarding offboarding and onboarding of our assets in and out of crypto without them, they're all done. They don't want to be done, guys. And if you think that they're going to let you have this little DeFi thing and ruin them, you're mistaken. There's a fight that's going to happen inside crypto and outside crypto. How are we going to win? How are we going to, be at the table versus on the table? That's my question to all of us. We need leadership. We need people out there speaking truth to power. We need people out there speaking rational. We don't need little bitch trolls in chat rooms talking stupid shit. We need people out here rationally speaking to everyone. And that's what's going to bring adoption. That's what's going to bring help. That's what's going to bring the people, to the space that is going to make it palatable, popular, and make a safe environment that people are going to want to bring their value and their wealth into here. So again, it's a Ponzi. It's going to take time for this thing to actually develop and become valuable and stabilize. It's not there yet. So
I totally agree. Very well said. And I guess we don't know what's going to kick off the revolution. There has to be some casualty, like you said, or
yeah.
enough casualty. And then once the little powder keg blows, there's going to come a massive EMP of finance where everything's going to become blacked out and DeFi is going to take the reins. The question is, how do we position ourselves to be an option of choice before the EMP goes off? So there's a point of reference and we get picked up. But thanks so much, Captain. This is probably going to sound really crazy, but there's a couple of pulse chainers like myself that we believe 2033 is the end all be all. So you're going to hear about that more, but that's just me putting it out there. Thanks, brother.
All right. Thank you for coming on, man. Well, I appreciate
Yep.
your words, man. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right. Well, we got into an interesting conversation there. You got anything to add to that, Alex? Lost your sound. All right, Torin, you ready? We got you now?
Yo.
You there?
You can hear me?
I'd say everybody's having audio issues tonight.
Terrible.
I literally just bought new boards and new sound equipment. I'm like, great, I got my sound all wrapped up. Now everybody's having trouble tonight.
Now it's us, right?
Yeah. You got something to say, Torin, or are you having problems with your mic too? I like the icon there. That's cool. There you go. Yep. Go ahead and unmute yourself. No? Okay. Well, he'll sit there. Well, just to add to what I'm saying, I don't want it to sound like doom and gloom, but I just know that the fight ahead is it's going to be a long, arduous, hard fight, and I think that the political climate, the regulatory climate is in our favor, definitely in crypto's favor. I don't know if it's in DeFi's favor yet. They haven't shown their hands, shown their cards on that one yet. So hopefully we're at the table too with DeFi, and privacy and decentralization and all that are part of the conversation. It sounds like they want it to be. So if that's the case and we become stronger, we have a nice bull market, then that sets up the playing field or the foundation for utility to help bring in the money. And right now it's just been the crypto bro money. It's been really chump change, to be honest. There's real money out there, real value that can come into this space if there's safety and utility. But they're not going to come in here for red and green candles and win Lambo and dick with butt. That's not where the real money is going to come in. It's just not, Let me see. I think Torin's trying to come back in. Let me pull this one. You with us now, Torin, or what? We can't hear you if you're talking. Keep trying, but you're here. So anyway, that's my opinion on it. It's I don't want to be the guy that's selling the crypto hopium to everybody. I want everybody to know that we've got work to do, and we ain't going to do it with the leadership that we have at this point. Yeah, sorry, Torin. That's all right, dude. If you can't come in, Let me know if you do. I'll just pull you down. So anyway, anything else you want to go over with your project? What you got going on?
Oh yeah, I mean, right after the PLS 369, we just had a collaboration with the Frankie's Dinner. We just added another utility into that, so now you could go into the Apple or iOS, download Frankie's Adventure, and if you own any of our NFTs, you could actually go within the game and redeem the Snatch Fetch'em skin. So once you get the skin, you get to play as our character Snatch, as well as a new redesigned level with new enemies. And the enemy itself is actually one of our monsters as well. So that's pretty cool. I see you got our collection up there. This is Pulse Market. You know, what you guys are looking at is all the different monsters and their different evolutions. So it's pretty cool to look at this. So much variety, you know. A lot of these NFT collections, they don't have as much variety as we offer, especially with the whole different color combinations and ability to form your team and kind of represent the ecosystem.
I love the names. They're adorable. I've never really, despite my name and the fact that I appear in chat all the time and it's a shout out to Pokemon, like I actually I watched Digimon. That was like my first like monster thing I was super into, and these are just I just wanted to show them off because they're adorable. So
Thank you.
I mean,
That's part of it too, you
and
know, like when people think of the monsters, right? The Mon, like it's always Pokemon that like wins that, but I'm with you on that. I kind of love the Digimon and the Yu-Gi-Oh! And I kind of try to pull from all of that. I didn't want to just go like 100% Pokemon influenced, so I try to kind of tap into all the rest of that. So thank you for that.
yeah.
Thanks, SJ, and for chiming in because I'm, the Pokemon stuff was before my time. Or after my time.
Yeah.
Hey, Torin, you there? We can hear you now, I think. Unmute. You just muted. Hold on. Let me unmute you. Torin.
How's it now? Is it all right?
You're good. We can hear you, man. You want to?
Oh, finally! Thank God. Yeah, I missed you guys. I've been a little absent. I know, but yeah, I think I was thinking it was about that time for me to chime in. You know, just based on all the stuff going on. You know, and
Torn,
everybody
you almost
kind
have
of.
your own monster right here. It's like almost torn.
It's Tormon.
SJ, it's my girl.
What's
It's been a long time.
I know. Good to hear your voice. Glad you're here.
Oh, good to hear your voice. I've been following you. I've been busy, but yeah. I never had any doubt in PulseChain. I still have zero doubt. You know, it's that time. It's that time. I think for people to get ready and be prepared to make some money, honestly, and push stuff. So I know things are a little bit wild, but it's that's where we're at. You know, looking at the greater markets, the macro, everything's obviously kind of crazy, but that's what we want. You know, like Richard says, dips are in the game. Volatility is the price you pay for the best performing asset. So I have no fear.
Yep.
I'll put it that way. Like I love my PulseChain peeps. Like I have no doubt, no fear. I had to jump in and reconnect with you guys because it's been a while, and I'm working on coding bots, my own little projects, and it just seemed like the time to get back in here and say hello and remind people like this game is tough. It's a tough game. It's kind of sad that it's a game, but it is that way. Everybody is trying to make it, and these days it's getting harder and harder, and so you know we we should be very thankful to be here and be paying attention and have, like, honestly, in my opinion, the absolute best people you can find in crypto are on PulseChain. Granted, there's all kinds of FUD and everything else, but that's how it goes. That's what it is. So
I love them all, man. I love them all. But hey, it's good. It's good to see. I think Alex had to roll. He was trying to let us know he was going to have to just head out to work. Thanks, Alex, for coming. Let's chat again. Let's have you come back on again and let's talk about your project a little more. We didn't get too deep into it. I was hoping that the people coming in, we're going to ask Alex some questions, talk to him about what he's got going on with the 404s. But it turned into a different conversation. I know there's a lot of stuff going on right now, with the P-die thing going on, and and the freaking political climate and all this other stuff, and then people like this is how I know, like, the bottom's in and like we're getting ready to start moving, is because people like yourself are poking around. You're a hardworking guy. You're out there. You work hard. You always have, when I start seeing people like you coming back, we saw Hexo come back a few months ago. We saw everybody, start to come back into the ecosystem. I think I even seen Funding Jim the other day. I know it's like, okay, here we go. The band's getting back together. Bull market's about ready to kick in. And, as bad as it is right now, we all know, well, we don't all know. Most of us here that have been around for a while know how good it is when it gets good. It's really,
yeah.
Really. So
I feel bad. I really did want to dive into what he had going on. I really wanted to understand what he was presenting and ask some questions, but I just had these crazy audio issues, which is just weird for me for the last 10 minutes. I wasn't able to pay attention, and so yeah,
he's got an NFT project that's built on the 404 protocol, which is a mix of the couple of ERC, whatever they are,
mhm.
or something
Yeah,
else.
I know all about it.
But it gives
That's
a lot
great.
of utility to the space, and it's kind of like digital trust type of activities, because you can make trusts do certain things and whatnot, and same with these 404. So I think he's on the right track and going right places, and I think that's the kind of stuff that's going to bring utility chain. Hold on, we got another. There we go. Hey, what's happening? You back? Did you make it back, Alex? Go
He
ahead.
said he's on his phone on the way to work, so maybe.
All right, maybe he's having trouble.
Get it set up.
But yeah, his project is one of those things that I think is going to help to bring utility. Help, it's going to take time. It's going to take time for all these things, and it's going to take pet projects like games and whatnot to solidify the tech, make it prove itself, so that they can start making utilitarian products for. You see us pulling back up here, a different one.
I think PulseChain probably. I've been saying it a lot. The last, I don't know, month, but especially the last few days. Like, I hate to call them crackheads, but honestly, all the crackhead devs are on PulseChain. Like, we have like the most amazing people on PulseChain, like the most advanced, the most, like, people are digging in and building incredible stuff on PulseChain. It's the only issue I see is it honestly goes over the heads of so many people. So I love seeing it happen, and I love seeing a bunch of people getting behind this stuff And I think like as it all matures, it's gonna blow everything, all the other chains out of the water. Like people really have no idea where PulseChain is going. Like I don't want to go too deep. I don't want to dig into any rabbit holes tonight or whatnot. But I mean, we got Richard, and there's so many people that know Richard like for years, and they're going full bore. So like
Yeah.
it's really just the beginning.
Yep. Hey, Alex,
Yeah,
go ahead. Well, he looks like he's getting ready to walk into work. Go ahead and unmute yourself. There you go.
Hey, I have a question for Alex, actually. So I was just looking over all of the NFTs, and maybe I just don't understand 404s, but they're all not for sale. So how do we catch them all? How do you get like how does that work?
There are some for sale. Unfortunately, the marketplaces have a funny way of displaying the ones that are for sale. So if you scroll all the way to the bottom, or if you look in the search specifically, you could search for only the ones that are for sale, then it will pop up some. Also, if you did want to just get one without using the marketplaces, you could go to PulseX, use the contract, put that in there, and then you could just buy one and hope to catch one from the wild. But if you would like one with a yeah, but if you want a lower token ID, then I suggest the marketplaces is your best bets.
Okay, I am a wild SJ. I may have to try this catching in the wild.
She likes that. She likes that. Taking her chances out there with the trees, hugging them, and catching small woodland creatures.
That's too fast. Yeah, we need more 404s. We need all this advanced tech. There's so much of it going on PulseChain, and it really is attracting all kinds of people because PulseChain's really leading the way. We've been top 5, top 6, for weeks on end on the rankings. We've blown out Ethereum for weeks on end in terms of daily transactions, and yeah, we got eyes. And what's gone on recently, I'm not gonna dive too deep into that
Don't need to.
necessarily, is really opportunity, in my opinion. That's all I'm gonna say. Like we know how deep and how strong PulseChain and the OG Hexicans and everything are. Like there's opportunities everywhere right now, in my opinion. That's how I see it.
I believe so too. Hey, Alex, any last words? I'm getting ready to shut down the stream. I got a kid back from college here that wants me to go visit with her. What's going down? Anything you want to say? Last words?
Sure. I just want to add what to what he was saying, and then I'll give my final thoughts. But I sound like Jerry Springer for a second. It's definitely it's the good thing about what happened recently, without going too deep. He said opportunity, right? Well, if people were paying attention, that was a pretty much a fire sale. So if you're deep on this system and you really believe in it, well, you could have scooped up some stuff for some real cheap prices. So it also opens the door for new people coming in to get in at a real nice price, and that's not a bad thing in my opinion. As far as anything from me, just keep watching us, see what we got next. We got some cool collaborations, trying to link in other networks in with PulseChain, trying to always bring in new customers. And we're not done with the 404. So hopefully we'll continue to keep being the leader in the 404s on PulseChain. Thanks for having me, man, and appreciate you for creating this platform for all of us. Thank you so much.
Oh, no, thank you, Alex, and thanks for supporting us at PLS 369. It was cool having you there. It was nice meeting you, and I'm rooting for you, man. Get out there and keep kicking ass.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It was a blast to be there. It was my first PLS 369. Hopefully, moving forward, maybe we could try to bring more NFTs to the space and bring more creators from the NFT side. Have more people bringing attention to that aspect of PulseChain.
We hope to do that for sure.
we'll put a panel together and get you on a panel there, and we'll have a panel discussion.
Sounds great. Sounds
All
great.
right.
Thank you.
Have a good night at work. Have a great weekend.
You too, guys. Thank you so much, and enjoy your time with your daughter, man. Thank you.
See you, bud. All right, Torin, thanks for coming on, man. Any last thoughts before we kick off here?
I'm just absolutely thankful. Like, I've met the most incredible people in crypto because of PulseChain. Without a doubt. Like, I'm so happy, so optimistic. We're in the right place, right time. Thanks, RG3. Thanks, SJ. Nice to see you. And thanks, Alex. It was a pleasure being on stream with you.
Yep.
Pleasure's mine, man. Thank you.
All right, guys. Thanks for coming, everybody. Thank you, SJ, for taking care of business. I want to say, hey, thanks everybody for coming to the chat room and hang out. Even you, M. Rocky, we love you. We really do. We really do. I just hope that whatever soured you, crawls out of your ass and you get to itch it and be well again. So everybody, thanks for coming. That's the FN Hangout. We'll see you next week. Have a good one. And let's see, where is the outro, right? Take care, everybody.